Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today, we're gonna do 1 million Rubik's Cube turns. All right, so I have 4 standard 3x3 Rubik's Cubes right here, and when I hit this button over here, they will start spinning at exactly 60 RPM. So that means they'll do 1 full revolution every single second. And so that's basically the equivalent of 4 Rubik's Cube turns. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. Every single second, they're all doing that. So 4 turns per second times 4 cubes. That means right now we're already doing 16 turns per second. So as you can see on the counter right up there, it's adding 16 turns per second every single second. So I can make it go a little bit faster. It's going to take a long time to get to a million like this. So let's do maybe double the speed. So 120 RPM. Or a total of 32 turns per second across all the cubes. So basically the idea is every single person who has ever subscribed to me up to, well, a couple days ago now, is going to get 1 Rubik's Cube turn in this video. So here they are. This started. It's 120 RPM. I think we can go a little faster than that. Let's double it again. So how about 240 RPM? So this will be a total of 64 turns per second across all 4 cubes. Getting a little bit louder. Make sure to get the closest microphone to my face. That way you guys can hear what I'm saying over the noise of this. Got the best noise suppression that money can buy. We can go faster than that though. How about 500 RPM? So this is like, I don't even know, lost count how many turns per second. But it's ramping up to 500. It's getting real loud, but you know, I think we can go a little bit faster than that still. How about 800 RPM? I think that might be about the limit. But let's try it. So it's ramping up a little bit more. And each of these cubes at 800 RPM is turning 10 full revolutions every single second. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a bunch of times, 10 times, every single second. More than that, actually. It's like 12 times per second. So we're getting a bazillion turns. As you can see, we're almost at 10,000, and the stream has only been going for what, like 2 minutes at this point. So hopefully by the end of the stream, assuming none of these cubes fly into pieces, assuming you can still hear me over the deafening noise of these cubes, I can barely hear myself. Uh-oh. One of them stopped. That's an issue. I think I can restart it though, if I'm clever. This wasn't supposed to happen. Already having issues. Well, we might have lost one. That literally isn't supposed to happen. Okay, let's try restarting it real quick. Wouldn't be a fun live stream if we didn't have issues right away. Maybe 800 RPM was a little bit ambitious. Let's try for maybe 600. Luckily, our turn counter is still going, still accurate, still keeping track of exactly how everything's moving. And I think at 600 RPM, we should be safe. 800 was maybe a little ambitious. Okay, so 1 million subscribers, I should say. Absolutely thank you to all of you. Couldn't have done it without literally a million of you deciding to go hit that button over the past 11 and a half years now. That's wild. We're ramping up to the right speed. Yeah, a very special announcement if you haven't already seen the video from yesterday. This live stream, of course, is happening. We're doing Q&A, live giveaway. I'll talk about that in a second. But also a new merch store. So z3cubing.com. You can go there right now. I have all sorts of cool products, so I can go ahead and click on this webcam right here. We have got little Z3 Cubing logo. So it's actually 3D printed with all the exact pattern of my personal logo. There's 2 different sizes. There's the keychain one, which is 4 centimeters, or this big coaster one. It's a very hefty, like, chunk of plastic. It's literally printed so that the colors are just in the plastic. It's a very awesome little piece of thing that you can buy. It's just $6 for the smaller one, $12 for the bigger one. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Z3cubing.com, by the way. I also have Rubik's Cube version. You can get just the standard solved cube for the same amount. So $6 for the smaller one, $12 for the bigger one. Or the really cool product is we have the custom cube. And so you can literally input your favorite scramble, your favorite pattern, input whatever you want into the website, and you can get that printed, 3D printed onto your own cube. So you can have just a keychain of a super flip pattern, or a keychain of your favorite scramble that you got in a competition one time, or anything cool like that. So yeah, all those at z3cubing.com. I think the prices are very reasonable. Free shipping to the US for any of these things. I also have t-shirts, 25 bucks. So yeah, they're really nice t-shirts, by the way. They're a lot better than the ones I used to sell in my old merch store. Also some stickers too. So that's enough plugging my merch for now. I'm sure there'll be plenty of that throughout the video. So let's go back to, oh, also one more thing, giveaway. So there'll be a link down in the description of this live stream right now, if it's live. If you're watching it after the fact, you're too late. But if it's live right now, go click on the forum link in the description. There'll be a giveaway. You can enter your information. Basically, I'm going to ask you to choose your own favorite scramble. So it can be something like a super flip pattern or a checkerboard pattern like this. You have to go to owl.cubing.net. It's a cool little website where you can just enter any algorithm and it'll show you it on a cube. And so go to that website, enter it into the form. It has all the details on there. And then at the end of the live stream, like just 2 hours from now, I will pick 5 random people from that list. And yeah, I will send them a custom 3D printed version of their favorite scramble in both a keychain version and a coaster version. So you'll get one of each of these. I might throw in some extra cool stuff too. So yeah, if you're located in the US, I'll just send it to you. If you're located internationally, I'll give you some store credit so you can buy it yourself. The shipping is kind of crazy internationally, but US people can ship it to you for free. Favorite scramble, enter in the giveaway right now. I'll pick the winners live on stream in a couple hours here when we're getting close to 1 million. So let me know in the chat if anything is going terribly wrong. Hopefully the audio sounds decent. Hopefully you can hear me over the noise of these crazy spinning cubes. If you're just now joining in, we are doing 1 Rubik's Cube turn for every single person who has ever subscribed to me. So right now these things are spinning at 10 full revolutions per minute, or per second, sorry. So overall between the 4 cubes, that's basically 160 turns every single second. I think that's right. Something like that. And so before long, we'll be at 1 million. I think I can maybe ramp up the speed a little bit more. 800 was maybe a little ambitious, but maybe I can do 700? A little bit faster? Okay, it's ramping up. You can hear it, definitely. Oh, that one stopped again. I think this one's limit is 600. There's actually a way I should be able to fix that live. But it doesn't seem to want to work, so I guess we're resetting it again. All right. Back to 600. I think that's fast enough. I guess for your guys' sake, you kind of want the cubes to be going slower because that means the live stream will be longer to get to 1 million. Okay. So everything sounds good, it sounds like, from the chat. And so what we're going to go ahead and do now is some live Q&A. So in my video that I uploaded yesterday, I asked you to put some questions down in the comments below. And a lot of you did. I actually have a ton of questions. And we're just going to open up a little slideshow here and go through each one of them. Let me make sure. Yeah, it looks like 14 of you have already entered the giveaway, so good job. You guys are coming up with those algorithms quickly. It takes a few minutes to type it in. You can basically use 3x3 notation and type in whatever moves you want. So you can do a scramble, you can do a pattern, you can do whatever you want. And I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. So first question here. 1 million, let's go, congrats. Did you ever think you would hit it? That's a good question, and to be honest, up until a year or two ago, no, I had absolutely no idea. I didn't think I would ever hit it. When I hit 100,000, that was after years and years and years of work. That was like the craziest thing in the world, and I was like, yeah, 1 million, totally out of reach. Maybe I'll get to 200 or 300 someday, but the milestone just kind of kept on coming. Eventually, what the heck? This one is just being obnoxious. Here. reset real quick. I'm going to go up to 500 RPM. And then what I'm going to do, I think I can individually increase the speed. But we'll see. I don't know. It's being more problematic than I thought. Maybe if I just adjust it a little bit, maybe that'll help. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I never thought I'd hit 1 million. It was really YouTube Shorts that came along that completely broke the subscriber count. So to be honest, my first 500,000 subscribers were much harder fought than the last 500,000. But you know what? I'll take it. Okay, this one's shaking even more now that I messed with it. I don't trust that. Let's see if I can individually make them faster though. So like this one right here, if I can go up to 800. Maybe that's not working anymore. No, they are getting faster. It's just hard to hear because it's so loud, everything else. Okay, so this one's at 800. This one's at 800. This one's going to be at 800. And this one can just stay at 500. And the count, it's all smart math and stuff. It all automatically adjusts to that. So it should keep the accurate count all throughout the live stream. Okay, next question. Let's go. So these are kind of in order of just what order they appeared on my YouTube. What? No, what? Stopped. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, I guess we're going 500. Here we go. They're all going to start at 500, and then I'll increase these two to 800 because these two are behaving. Number 2 can go to 800. Number 3 can go to 800. Okay, so that should set them all correctly. Hopefully we won't have to deal with that anymore. The next comment, next question. I'm legally blind. Contrast is difficult. What cube brands do you know of that have good contrast between the colors? What I would actually recommend for you, I think someone actually replied this in the comments, replied it to you. Get a stickered cube. I mean, most speed cubes nowadays are all stickerless, but back in the day, we had stickered cubes. We could choose whatever colors that we wanted on our cubes. If you go to the cubicle, you can actually still go into their 3x3 stickers and choose custom colors for your cube. And so, yeah, you can choose like white on one side and then black on the other side. And that'll be really good contrast, much better than white and yellow. Same thing like, what's his name? Chris Olsen, I know back in the day used to do pink and instead of red or orange, I don't remember which one, but pink gave you better contrast than red versus orange. So there's so many different options. You can mess around, get a bunch of different sticker colors, play around with it, see which ones you can personally see the best. Next question. Again, let me know if there's any terrible audio issues. I know it's not going to sound great over the sound of this, but... Oh yeah, also we hit 100,000 already. That's pretty impressive. That means we're going to be done in, I would say no time, but not quite no time. Okay, 3 questions. What are your current PBs on FTO? To be honest, it was probably whatever the PRs that I set in my last competition that they had it unofficially. So, I don't know, probably in the 40, 50 second range. Have not been practicing really much of anything lately, not FTO. Why are you going to fewer cubing comps recently? Again, if you saw my video at the start of the year, breaking my 10-year video streak, I had uploaded a video every single week for literally 10 years. A little bit longer than that actually, but it was 10 calendar years was the reason that I made that milestone video and stopped. Yeah, just have a lot going on. Graduated college, getting a real job, lots of other personal stuff, so haven't had as much time to make videos for one thing. That's why that's been less frequent. Haven't had as much time to practice cubing. Haven't had as much time to go to cubing competitions. And now I'm kind of at the point, addressing your third point, are you planning to come to more cubing comps this year? I'm going to a few. I've been to like 1 or 2 already. I'm also going to Worlds upcoming in a month or so here. But yeah, that is at the point where my weekends are increasingly precious at this point. So there's other things that kind of take priority at this point over cubing competitions because I don't really, again, practice very much anymore. But still would love to come to more, probably do a few more Colorado ones this year if I can make it. Okay. We've done a lot of camping. Do you like hunting and fishing as well? Do you feed fish to your cat? No. Haven't really done any. I've done very minimal fishing, and that's it. I'm always the guy running around in the middle of nowhere with my bright orange vest during hunting season, scaring off all the animals. I feel like I'd make a pretty good hunter because I run across so many deer and elk in the craziest of places and sneak up on them. But nope, never done that. How old are you and when is your birthday? Are you trying to steal my identity or something? In all seriousness, though, I'm 23. My birthday was in the last month. I'll just say that. It's public if you can track it down. What unofficial event has left a long-lasting impression on you? Let's see if I have one. I mean, the obvious answer for the event that's been kind of the most influential, especially lately, is FTO. It legitimately, I think, is probably the unofficial event that I've spent the most time practicing, improving, getting better at it. And so, yeah, I think it would make a fine WCA event. Again, don't have much time to practice it lately, but I think, yeah, it's probably the answer to that question. That one has never stopped before. I swear there's a way to restart that one individually. Maybe we're just going to run all of them at 500 RPM, and this live stream is just going to be a lot longer. All right. Get a little moment of quiet here. I saw a comment on the live chat asking if I can sign your keychain. And yes, absolutely. There's a little box when you're checking out that says like order comments. And if you just type in there, I want X and Y signed, I will absolutely write Z3 cubing and everything, sign it with a little Sharpie. So yeah, just let me know in the order comments box and absolutely I can do that. We have 40 people have entered the giveaway so far. If you're just joining in, by the way, we're doing one Rubik's Cube turn per person who has ever subscribed to my channel. It's been a little bit rocky so far. I mean, the cubes have been starting and stopping a little bit, but it's going. Actually, I guess you can't see them right now. There they are. All spinning at 500 RPM. I mean, this one has been rock solid, so if this one stops, we have a real problem. But I'll spin this one up to maybe 700. I guess I can only increase the speed as we go and not decrease, which I guess is probably a bug in my code. Okay, where was I? Yeah, we're doing a million Rubik's Cube turns. There's a giveaway. Where is it? I have this beautiful merch that you can buy at z3cubing.com. Nice little high quality 3D printed keychains and coasters and stuff. You can input your favorite scramble in the giveaway link, and I will 3D print both a keychain and a coaster with your favorite scramble on it and send it to you for free if you're in the US. If you're international, you can get some store credit at least. Okay, back to Q&A because we have a lot more to go. And later on, I'll ask for questions in the live chat, and I'll start answering those too. So next up, oh, this person's comment's very long, so it kind of got squished off the screen a little bit. If you were to design a cube, what would you do different than other cube brands? That is a good question, and that's one of the questions that I thought about for a minute. Couldn't think of a good answer, but then decided to include anyway, so I need a second to think. I mean, on the one hand, I love the cubes that have a lot of customizability, like the Tornado V3. GAN kind of does it almost to a fault. They make customizability kind of beyond what any reasonable human would ever need to do. So, I don't know. I really like on the Tornado, especially, how you can customize things without any tools. Like you can change, I think, the tension. I haven't adjusted it for a long time. You can change a lot of things without even needing a screwdriver. I think there was a cube one time that you could adjust the magnet strength without using a screwdriver. That would be pretty cool. I like things that you can adjust on the fly and that are easy to do. But I guess a lot of companies already do that. I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't design a cube. So that's what I would do different. I wouldn't do it. Okay, how fast are we going? Number one hasn't had any issues for a while, so let's ramp that one up to maybe 700. And then number three usually doesn't have any issues. I swear it can get up to at least 600. Let's try it. Okay. Just trying to maximize that turn per second. Oh, I realized that my comment is in front of the cubes. Maybe I should move that. Okay, next question. Oh, what made you want to start selling 3D printed keychains and coasters? Hey, getting some good merch shout outs. To be honest, I got a new 3D printer around about start of the year. Somebody asked this question, but I'll just answer it already. It's a Bamboo Lab P1S. I'm sure you guys all saw that coming. No, they're not sponsoring me or anything. I just looked around for different 3D printer options, and it seemed like a pretty good one that you could buy. So I bought the AMS that had the 4 colors of filament. Let me just do this real quick. And I realized, like, wait a minute, this was my very first prototype. Like, wait a minute, you could make, like, something that looks like a Rubik's Cube that has black and white and red and blue. And it's just black on the other side because I only had 4 colors at the time. And then I realized, wait a minute, what if I do this, but I do it on both sides? And so I immediately bought another AMS, which lets you print in up to 8 different colors at a time. And my first prototypes, some of them didn't turn out very well. It was definitely a bit of a learning curve to get it better quality than that. A lot of them, yeah, I kind of had some adhesion issues, which I eventually worked through, figured out what I was doing wrong. And eventually, yeah, just kind of iterated and iterated until I ended up with pretty much being able to print them perfect every single time. And yeah, it was such a fun process, such a cool result. I've literally had one of these both of these on my keychain in my pocket everywhere I go for months now. Is when I made the first like really good prototypes. And so yeah, I just thought want to share them with you. I've always wanted to do some kind of merch store, but never really had anything good to sell other than t-shirts. And I think this is the perfect thing to do. And I think the customizability is part of what makes it really cool. And just the fact that my logo happens to have the exact same colors as a Rubik's Cube, there's very good accidental foresight. Okay. Let's see if I can go to the next question like that. Nope. That. There we go. What is your cubing story? When did you start? Why did you start and when? That's a good question because it's something that I've addressed in videos long ago, but haven't really, I mean, I haven't done a live stream in like 2.5 years at this point. Haven't done a Q&A since, well, I guess the last live stream. So yeah, I guess I haven't really explained that for a while. It started, I mean, back when I was a very little kid, my dad always had this one Rubik's Cube. I have it somewhere. I doubt I could find it right now though. Just this old Rubik's brand from like the 80s, just lying around. And I remember one time when I was really little, like probably 7, 8, 6 years old, 7 years old, something like that. I like went up and searched on YouTube. Oh, camera? Okay, my camera decided to turn off for a second. I searched on YouTube how to solve Rubik's Cube and saw Dan Brown's tutorial. I'm sure the OGs out there will remember that. And I tried to solve it, and I had no idea what the video was talking about, and I gave up immediately, and I said, forget it. And then, like, another year or 2 later, I came back to it. Somehow I got my hands on a book that my dad had, also from the 80s, written by Jeff Verasano. He created basically the modern-day Ortega method. And yeah, it was basically how to solve Rubik's Cube, but you started with the corners, and so you kind of, like Ortega, you started with getting the white corners on one side, the yellow corners on the opposite side, then you put them all into the right spot, like PBL, and then you put all the edges in between. It was the weirdest 3x3 method. Apparently back then, it was passable if you wanted to solve it in 45 seconds. So, yeah, that's, I kind of learned how to solve it really slowly. Way back then, I was probably 8 years old. No, 9 years old. 9 years old? 8 years old. Something like that. I don't remember anymore. This one just stopped. Maybe 500 RPM is a little ambitious even. 500. All right. I'll finish telling the story eventually, I promise. Yeah, so I learned how to solve the cube. I could do it in like a minute or two at very best. Um, really young. I got a 4x4, a 5x5, 6x6, 7x7. Couldn't solve any of them, but I could take them apart and put them back together, which was a lot of fun. Eventually I started watching other YouTubers, so like Me, Myself, and Pi was my favorite back in the day. Red KB was a classic, way back then. And then, yeah, just kind of stopped for a few years. Eventually, I just got back into it. I remember the very first time I got back into it, I just decided to assemble a 6x6 for fun. So I got my VCube 6, took it apart, put it back together. That's what passed as fun for, I guess, 11-year-old me. So, yeah, I did that. I was like, I want to get back into cubing. And I realized, I think I relearned the full old method that I used. It was like the corners first method. And relearned how to do it. Immediately realized that it was absolutely terrible. So I finally went back to that original Dan Brown's tutorial and realized that now that I was a few years older, I actually understood what was going on. So I learned how to do that basic beginner's method, which is a lot faster than the one I was doing. Got a little bit faster, eventually, learned F2L, learned OLL, PLL, got down to doing pretty fast. Well, I guess I knew beginner's method, and then I started my channel. I think there's another question that talks more about started my channel, but that was in 2014, so I was probably 11 or 12 years old. Yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. I was very young, had no idea what I was doing, but I watched a lot of YouTube and kind of just wanted to be like them, and eventually got into it. Made a bunch of terrible videos for years and years and years, and yeah, eventually got to the point where I could make a decent video. And years later, we are where we are today. Again, if the audio starts going absolutely crazy at some point, let me know. When I was recording my last video, you might have noticed that the audio was a little bit all over the place. It's because it decided to randomly start buzzing. It's a new audio setup. Still figuring it out. Obviously, it's going to be terrible quality with these things being so loud in front of me. What? That one stopped again. They will get it turned. Okay, that one's going at 400 RPM. The rest of them can go a little bit faster. Okay, we got 400 RPM, 500 RPM, 7.7. I think that's safe. I was expecting to do all these at 800 RPM, so we might be going a little bit longer than I thought. But hey, we're almost at 250,000, so can't take too long. I was actually having a lot of troubles beforehand with one of these cubes stopping. It was this one. It was stopping no matter what I did. A bunch of tinkering, a bunch of swapping out cubes. I literally have 4 other cubes identical to these ones that I was swapping out back and forth. A few of them were always rock solid. A few of them were always terrible. But that one, it looks like it's still terrible. They were working fine at 800, but guess not anymore. Absolute favorite mod and hardest mod to solve. Favorite mod. Honestly, one that always comes back to me. Maybe it's just because it's so large and obvious and cool to see. And maybe it's just because I'm looking at it right now, but this 9x9 Lego cube is pretty darn incredible. It's just so massive. I know it's not the craziest mod in the world, but just, I don't know. I've loved the aesthetic of sticking Legos onto a cube and the color scheme and everything, and it just fits so perfectly on this one, and it's so big. It's definitely one of my favorite mods. Hardest mod to solve? Probably some crazy, like, shape mod. I mean, the 7x7 barrel isn't that hard to solve, but it definitely is more challenging than a lot of them. That's a good question. I guess I haven't done a shape mod that has like, that's a shape mod on all 6 sides. That's what's really hard to solve on a big cube, but yeah, that's probably one of my hardest. Haven't made anything too crazy. Why haven't you made Force Dino Cube yet? Honestly, I don't remember saying that I was going to make Force Dino Cubes yet, although it does sound like something that I would say. The thing with Force Cubes, I haven't done as many lately just because I feel like they kind of got a little bit old and tired out as a video format on YouTube. Yeah, just not anything new and interesting to do video-wise in terms of Force Cube lately. I do think Dino Cubes would be a cool addition, though. So maybe someday. What inspired you to make your channel? Okay, I knew this question was coming. And why'd you choose the name Z3 Cubing? So, what inspired me to make my channel? So I kind of was talking about this a minute ago with getting into cubing. Yeah, just watching a bunch of other YouTubers and really just enjoying cubing in general, enjoying speed cubing, enjoying all aspects of it. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to be like them. Me, Myself, and Paya again was my favorite. He has watched every single video back when he was making them. And kind of copied a lot of his video ideas in the early days. So that was kind of what inspired me, and eventually kind of had to learn to find my own style and become better at making videos myself. Why'd you choose the name Z3 Cubing? Well, I didn't. Originally, it was Lego Boy Z3, which just came from some random old website username from years ago. But then eventually I changed it. I think there's another question about that, actually. To make it more cubing related, obviously. What is the first cube that you bought? Ooh, do I have it on hand? Oh, I do. So other than that old 3x3 that my dad had years ago that I learned how to solve a cube on, this was the first cube that I actually... I don't know if I literally bought it. My parents probably bought it. But I remember going to the store, going to Walmart, and picking up the one Rubiks brand that they had there. And, I mean, it's pretty okay for a Rubiks brand. It has CubeSmith tiles on it that I added. Lubricated it a million times. Used it so much that it actually got pretty nice and loose. But yeah, it's one of the older style Rubiks brands that you can pop open like this. Just super basic blocking mechanism. That's probably the first one that I ever got. The first one that I bought, like, with my own money, I guess. Might have been, actually, I don't know if I have it on hand. But I bought another 2 Rubik's brands to make some fuse cubes a few years later. So I remember I had, like, a gift card or something and went and bought those from Walmart, too. How long do you think the next million is going to take, if you think it'll even happen? Probably never going to happen, just to be realistic. The only scenario under which it does happen is I have a few YouTube shorts that go absolutely ballistic, and that's frankly how I got to 1 million in the first place. Yeah, I'm not making enough or popular enough long-form videos at this point. So yeah, it's all the subscribers are coming from the shorts. I know you guys who are watching the live stream are the guys who have been around a while who love the long-form videos, but realistically, the last few 100,000 have been from shorts. So if it happens again, it will be many years down the line from many moderately successful shorts, but probably never gonna happen, to be realistic. 1 million took me 11.5 years, so you know. You could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Easy answer, pizza. When and why did you get into modding and 3D printing? Okay, I actually kind of got into those separately, like as got into modding and also separately got into 3D printing. Modding specifically, again, was from watching YouTube back in the day. So, yeah, a lot of the people who were doing it back then were making some kind of simple mods, so... Red KB made a lot of them, like the Lego Cube, the first Lego Cube, he made that, I think. The Void Cube chain mod, 1x1x2, things like that, or 1x2x2. So I copied a lot of those back in the day and thought they were really cool. And then later on, people like Crazy Bad Cuber would show off mods from people like Trifoom, the crazy, like, shape mods like morphixes of a 9x9. We're resetting again. So that kind of opened my eyes to the different kinds of mods that you could make, like by hand. I just set them all to 600, so they're definitely going to explode, but we'll see. Yeah, JR Cuber was another one. He made like the 10x10 barrel, I remember. So all those people that I watched on YouTube kind of inspired me to get into modding. And then the biggest one, of course, was Nathan Wilson. He is still kind of around. He definitely made some videos somewhat recently. Just all sorts of every imaginable 3x3 mod and things like that. Yeah, so that was kind of what inspired me to get into modding. I kind of started making my own, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then inspired me to get into 3D printing was totally different. That was actually back at school. In my middle school, we had some awful 3D printers back in the day, like the terrible ones that moved like that quickly. Eventually, we got a better one, a Lulzbot Taz, if you know what that is, which was like really good compared to the old ones. Oh wait, we can just stop it like that. Oh, that's a lot easier actually. Forgot about that. 500 should be fine. Yeah, and just sort of learned how to use it. Took that thing apart to fix the stupid stuck extruder head a million times. Eventually got a 3D printer at home, and I kind of started realizing I could like make extensions for 3x3s and glue them on and make my own shapes just with 3D printing instead of having to do it all manually by hand. And eventually, yeah, just this last year, got my own 3D printer and have been making all sorts of cool things that you haven't even started to see the start of. So we will see definitely some more 3D printed mods coming soon. But I also do make some. That one. Why are the turns going down? The turn counter was going down. That's not supposed to happen. Oh no, we're at 0. Disaster. What were we at? 313,000? Let me actually check what we were at before it broke. We were at 312 and a half. Okay. 312 and a half. Okay. We were at least that many before. Okay. I'm going to go up to a safe 500 turns per second, or RPM, not per second. Okay. I don't know how it became negative. That's so random. Yeah, buggy code. That's obviously what's going on. Okay, number 2 has never failed us yet, so I'm gonna ramp that one up to at least 700. 1 and 3 are okay. Maybe I can go up to 600 on those. We will get to 1 million eventually, even if it takes hours. Okay. Yeah, we were at 312, 628. So we're overcounting a little bit. The last few hundred people who have subscribed over the last day or two will also get their own turn. So don't worry, I'm not leaving any of you out. Every single person, you're going to get a Rubik's Cube turn in this video. Okay. Back to the question. What 3D printer do you use? Okay, I already answered this question. Bamboo Lab, P1S, 2 AMSs to get all 7 colors that I need to print these cool things. Yeah, that's all there is to say. Who inspired you to start cubing? I also already kind of talked about this a little bit. Yeah, the biggest YouTubers that I mean, well, I guess when I first learned how to solve a cube. Well, no. I guess it was watching YouTube. It was me, myself, and Pi. I remember his, if you remember I think the video is called The Fastest Rubik's Cube Relay Ever or something like that. He like whacks each of them to solve them. Okay, that one can't even do 500 anymore. 400 RPM. Um, I remember that was one of the very first cubing videos I ever watched, and just watched all of his videos, and he was the biggest cuber back in the day and biggest YouTuber. Okay, this one's at 400 RPM. That should be safe. Yeah, and then obviously I already mentioned a bunch of other names. Red KB was the other one, the other big one back in the day. Definitely some of the biggest inspirations. Will you list your first video? So you probably know, well, if you were around a long time ago, you know that my first video is actually unlisted. If you go check it now, it's like some stop motion thing. My first video was a tutorial on how to solve a Rubik's Cube, which was the worst tutorial that has ever existed. Don't make that as your first video. It's a terrible idea. But for I think 100,000 subscribers, I reacted to that video. So if you want to see how terrible it was, go watch my reaction of it for 100,000 subscribers. Do not watch the actual video. It's unlisted for a reason. Don't worry about it. And again, if the audio starts to sound terrible at any point, let me know, because I do not trust this microphone yet. Boop. Congrats on 1 million. Been watching, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what are your top 3 locations to cube? I'm going to take this question very literally. The top 3 places that I've ever cubed: on top of Mount Whitney, on top of Mount Elbert, on top of Mount Massive, followed very closely by Mount Rainier. Those are my top 3 locations that I've ever cubed. The strangest experience you've had while cubing or at a competition? This is another one that I chose. I couldn't think of a good answer at the time, so I'm gonna have to think for a second. Strangest experience while cubing. I've had a few weird interactions with people while cubing just out in the wild. One of the funniest ones was my first cubing while skiing video, literally the very first run that I did. Just going through the trees in the middle of nowhere, where literally usually you don't see absolutely anyone, just solving a cube while skiing down some powder. And there's a couple of people walk up to me like, I don't know, just going crazy about the fact that I'm solving a Rubik's Cube. That was more of a funny experience than a strange experience. I can't say I've had too many strange experiences. I mean, like at a cubing competition, we've had the power go out while we were solving. I wasn't actually solving. I think I was about to go up and compete. That was a pretty strange thing to happen at a cubing competition. Eventually they had to go out into the hallway where there was more light. I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of fun stories that I can't even remember at this point, but lots of fun ones. Also, by the way, if you haven't entered the giveaway yet, link down in the description down below. You can enter in your favorite Rubik's Cube pattern and get it 3D printed onto one of these coasters and a keychain sent to you for free in the US. Also go to z3cubing.com if you want to buy them. Next question. When did you start cubing? I already talked about that. I was probably 20. I was like 8 years old. How fast were you after 1 year of it? I don't think I had even solved the cube in under a minute after a year of it. Again, I was using that terrible method back in the day. And yeah, probably over a minute after a year. But then after I actually got into using the real beginner's method, using a CPOP, started getting a lot faster and probably was down to 25 seconds within the first year. Excuse me. Oh, this person left a very vertically high comment, so it's very small. I still remember Lego Boy Z3. A few questions. How do you adjust screws accurately on the MOU tensioning systems? Yeah, I guess for people who are used to, I mean, this person's clearly been around longer than this, but if you're used to being able to adjust the tensions just to a number, I guess going back to using a screw gets kind of difficult to accurately get the exact same tensions on all sides. I've been dealing with the same obnoxious problem on all of these cubes, just trying to get them to spin accurately. But how do you adjust them accurately? I guess the the only way you can really do it perfectly accurately is just take the whole cube apart. And then what I do is I look at the threads. I look at how close the thread is, the top of the threads to the core, and just make them all the same on all 6 sides, put the cube back together, and then from there you can do fine adjustments by making sure you're turning each side by the exact same amount. Story of your first comp. My first competition was US Nationals 2014. That was a very exciting competition because, first of all, Nationals as my first competition, you can't even do that anymore because nowadays you have to qualify for all of your events ahead of time. But back then it was a lot smaller. You didn't have to do that. It was also out of state because, again, I mean, there weren't hardly any cubing competitions around here back when I started. The year that I started the channel, 2014, there wasn't a single cubing competition in my state of Colorado. So, yeah, it was kind of, you had to go somewhere else to go to a competition because there were none here. So the first one was in, what's it called? Jersey City, New Jersey, Liberty Science Center. I've somehow convinced my parents to let me fly across the country for my first competition. I was pretty into it at that point, so I signed up for, 2, 3 Pyrrhus Cube. I was signed up for 4x4. Didn't actually compete because I was too slow to make the cutoffs. My 3x3 times were something like 35 to 40 seconds. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The 3-day competition back then for the Nationals. The venue was kind of terrible. It was awesome because they had like a Rubik's Cube exhibit at the museum that it happened at. So there was literally like a giant, like light up Rubik's Cube, like I'm talking 50 foot wide, hung above the competition area. But the lighting was terrible. Like you couldn't see anything. It was so dark compared to how they host Nationals or really any competition nowadays. It was so old fashioned just looking back at the videos. Like they didn't have modern cube covers. Like you don't really think about that, but like cube covers, like the like cardboard ones that we have nowadays, just weren't a thing back then. Like the scrambling table, like the logistics of it, you had to like go to a different room or something to scramble it. Like it was all just like very old fashioned looking back at it now. Again, terrible lighting, very, very cramped because you were like in this little enclosed area, all the competing area, like in the middle of the room with the spectators all around. It was like probably a quarter of the size of the competing areas they have now. But they did have a very cool Rubik's Cube exhibit upstairs, and you could go look at all sorts of different cubes. One of the coolest venues in that aspect, having cubing related stuff around it. What do you do outside of cubing? Hobbies, job, YouTube, your job. No, YouTube is not my job anymore. I mean, it was back when I was in school, high school, college, all that. But now, graduated college, I have my own job. So cubing is kind of becoming more of a hobby. YouTube, that's why I've been making fewer videos, treating it less as a job, treating it more as just sort of making videos on things that I find interesting. I've been putting a lot of effort into 3D printing, making these things lately because I think they're really cool. v3cubing.com. Is that enough merch plugging? Yeah, and then outside of cubing, I have lots of other hobbies besides cubing at this point. At one point in my life when I started this channel, it was my main hobby. Now it's become not much of a hobby. Not a very big hobby compared to others. Running, go run 5 miles on average just about every day. Hiking, climbing mountains during the summer, going skiing during the winter. Yeah, that's kind of what I like to do most of the time. Will you buy any bigger cubes from the one that you have? My biggest cube right now, well, physically biggest, is up there, the big magnetized one. Actually, funny story. About like a few weeks after I magnetized that biggest one and made the world's largest magnetic 3x3, somebody else went ahead and magnetized the slightly bigger one. It's like a few centimeters bigger. So it's no longer the world's largest, but yeah, someone took my challenge to heart and truly did make the world's largest by beating my record by a little bit. So the biggest 3x3, biggest like big cube is 13x13 as always. I would love to get a bigger one someday. Like if they had one that was kind of in this style of the Yushin 13x13. I really like the just cubic, just nice small compact style. If they made something like, I don't know, something like the 20 by 20 or so range, that was kind of small, compact, you can hold it in your hands, turns well, it's cubic, and wasn't ridiculously priced, I would maybe consider getting it, but right now I just don't have much of a reason to. But it would be fun for content. Next question. What are other ideas for channel names you had when you switched from Lego Boy Z3 to Z3 Cubing? Okay, I knew there was another question about this. Yeah, it was originally Lego Boy Z3. Obviously, I wanted to change it to make it more cubing related, so the Lego had to go. The boy pretty much had to go. So Z3 was all that was really left. And so I was like, okay, it used to be Z3, but then something related to cubing. So it could have been like, well, originally actually I had like Rubik's Boy Z3. That's still what I use as a username for some things. Rubik's with an X for some reason. I don't know why it had an X in it. I hate when people write Rubik's with an X, but I guess when I was little, I did it too. So Rubik's Boy Z3 was one. Obviously, by the time I wanted to change my name from Z3 Cubing, I wanted to get rid of the boy part too. So like Rubik's Z3, Cubing Z3, and it kind of just made sense to be like Z3 Cuber, I think was one of the ones I was leading towards the most. I remember talking to a friend about it, and it was like, no, it should definitely be Z3 Cubing, because it's like the Cuber thing, especially back in the day, was very overused. Like 2 letters followed by Cuber. So yeah, Z3 Cubing I think worked out better, and very glad that I changed to that when I did. It was right around right before 100,000 subscribers when I switched. How do you stay interested in cubing? I go through a cycle every 2 years, but become interested and lose interest. Honestly, it's kind of just, I feel like a natural thing, especially for hobbies like this, to be very into it at one point in your life, and then later on just have sort of cycles like going up and down of regaining interest. That's how I am nowadays with like video games, for instance. Like I don't play a lot of video games, but every, once or twice a year, I'll get into one, play it for a few weeks, have a lot of fun, and then just stop. It's just kind of a natural thing when it comes to interest, I guess. And cubing is the kind of hobby that you have to be very, very committed to it to stay in it for a long time. And a lot of people do. But yeah, I mean, it also makes sense that a lot of people kind of come and go. And I guess my biggest suggestion would be don't force it. Like, don't force staying interested in something that you're not interested in it. If you try to force it, you're just going to become burned out and it's not going to be any fun anymore. I would know because I've forced it a lot. So yeah, I would say don't force it. That's why I don't speed cube a lot nowadays. That's why I don't do a lot of cubing outside of YouTube. So yeah, do whatever you find interested in. If you have another hobby that you're more interested in, do that instead. Have you ever gotten a video recorded and edited, but then decided not to post it? Not as often as you think. It's definitely a thing that I maybe should have done a few times. I feel like way back in the day with some like terrible tutorials, I might have done that when I just realized how bad they were. What's really happened the most often is I've released a video hesitantly, and then within a week or two, or sometimes longer, realized just how bad it was. I just made it private. So that's happened a handful of times. Oh, my camera just froze. Is it back? We're back. Cool. So yeah, I mean, it's happened a handful of times. Just honestly, it was a video ideas that I'm excited about making and go ahead and make, and then in hindsight realize that they weren't actually all that good. Didn't actually make an entertaining video in the end. Sometimes it can be the opposite. Sometimes it's a video that I'm kind of hesitant to make, but then I go and record it and it's like, turns out way better than I ever could have thought. But sometimes it's the opposite. You can have an exciting video idea that just isn't very good content, I guess. Were your mains, PBs, real name, camera setup, and computer spec? That's a lot of questions. First of all, for mains and PBs, you can still go on the About page on my channel. Hopefully that still exists. There's a link to a spreadsheet that has all my mains and PBs. They're kind of up to date. I update them occasionally. My PBs certainly haven't changed very much in the last few years, so maybe they'll be up to date. Real name, well, of course, it's Zalex Thriaker. That's what the Z3 stands for. Camera setup. I'm still using the same thing that I've used since 2017. Well, in terms of the camera, it's a Canon T7i, just a nice sort of mid-range DSLR from back in the day. Nowadays, you can probably buy one for half the price easily, or you can buy something better for half the price, I'm sure. A lot of people go with the more mirrorless cameras, a little bit smaller, more compact, probably easier to use, but still using a DSLR. And then microphone is actually the thing that's changed very recently. I used to use a Blue Yeti for years and years and years, also since I think 2017, but it just recently died. It's like has 2 channels of audio left and right, but one of the channels died. It just makes a hissing sound constantly. So I realized that I had to go get a new microphone. I actually have still been using that Blue Yeti for the last handful of videos before it became really desperate, just using one of the channels. So I finally invested in XLR microphone, which does sound a lot better when it's not over the sound of 4 cubes spinning at 500 RPM. Hopefully you can tell I still have some issues with it. Still getting the bugs worked out, but yeah, this is the Rode Pod mic, I believe. It's just a cheap XLR microphone, but it's a heck of a lot better than what I was using before. Also computer setup. That's also something that's changed kind of recently. It's built my own computer. I've been doing that for years. That's another thing I'm really into. I've built a lot of computers over the years. It is a Intel i7 12700K. So not the latest thing, but still pretty darn good. And RTX 3070 Ti. Both of which were actually I bought from my friend when he was upgrading, but they're more than good enough for me and way better than what I was using before. So I was still using a 6700K, if you know what that is, up until a few months ago. And it still works fine for everything that I do. What is your favorite PLL case? I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Obviously, the JB Perm comes to mind. I just did it the wrong way. T Perm also comes to mind. Basically the same algorithm. I think the more interesting question is the most underrated PLL case. So, like, am I crazy for thinking that E-perms are kind of fun? I mean, like, they're terrible to do in a solve because, like, D moves are kind of inconsistent. Actually, no, I think the most underrated might be, at least by beginners. What did I do? It's probably the A-perm. Because it's so fast. It's so much fun to do that double D move. But before you can do these, like, double D move finger tricks, a lot of people just are so bad at doing them and are so slow. But once you get good at it, it's so much fun. I think that's probably the most underrated, at least. Have you ever met Yiheng Wang? No, I don't think I've ever been to a competition that he's been at. Yeah, I think I heard that he's gonna be at Worlds, so maybe I'll meet him or at least get some cool videos of him solving. What's your favorite / main WCA event? I mean, nowadays, if I'm gonna practice any WCA event, it's obviously just gonna be 3x3, just to kind of keep up with where I was at one point someday. So yeah, it would just be 3x3, realistically. I forgot how my button worked. There we go. Okay, these cubes haven't broken for a while. Maybe we need to turn up the RPM a little bit. Hold on. So I think one was at 500. Let's go up to 600. This one's never broken, has it? It can probably do 800. Oh. Never mind. Can probably do 800. Breaks immediately. Okay. 400 is the safe one for that. So they're all gonna... What is going on? Okay, there we go. I thought for a second that was gonna be the only one turning. Like that would take a while. One turn for every person who's ever subscribed to my channel. Or who's currently subscribed to my channel. Okay, so 400. We're just gonna leave it how it was. Okay, 400. This one can be at. Was this one okay at 600? Hopefully this one can be at 600. I think this one was at 700. And this one, maybe 600 RPM. This is what I'm talking. So in terms of actual turns per second, 600 RPM works out to like 10 times 4, 40 Rubik's Cube turns per second at 600 RPM. So this one's going a little bit faster than that, a little more than 40 turns per second. These two are about 40. This one's a lot less than 40 because it's fallen apart. They're literally all the exact same cube. I don't know why some of them work so badly. We have a bunch of other ones that I bought. They're all identical. These ones, I can't even get them to go up to 400. Like, I don't know what the variability is. I've tried adjusting the tensions tighter or looser, changing all sorts of things up, but these are the only ones that have remotely worked. And they still barely work. I guess I can't really complain when I'm spinning a cube at 600 RPM. Weren't really made for that. We're almost at 500,000 though. Oh. Wait, last time I did this, I started turning negative. Let's see if that happens again. Actually, let's not see if that happens. Let's just reset it properly instead. Okay. We're not going up to 800 anymore. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay. We will get to 1,000,000 someday. Even if I have to take out a cube and start doing this. No, I actually did that last time for 500,000. I did 100,000 turns and it took me like 4 hours. So I'd be here for over a day if we had to do that. But luckily we're making some pretty good progress already. In fact, we will be at 500,000 in no time. Let's watch it tick over. 498. 499. By the way, if you haven't checked out z3cubing.com, obligatory merch shout out, z3cubing.com. 500,000! Woohoo! And if you haven't entered the giveaway already, I'm giving away literally your own custom scramble, whatever scramble you want, on a coaster and a keychain, 3D printed, really fantastic quality. I actually love these things. Choose your scramble, enter to win down below. The cube is broken again. I should have never messed with it. Oh, I just did 500. This one's going to explode again now. What if I do this? One. Watch, it's going to break like right now. Okay, it's going. Okay, we're over 500,000, by the way. I totally missed it. Woohoo, 500,000. Okay, back to some Q&A. Towards the end of the stream, I'll start taking live questions from the chat, but right now I'm just going to go through all the questions that were left on my most recent video. So we're, I think, like halfway through them, but already dead. No, I just broke something. Oh, that's actually something that should not be broken. That is no bueno. Here, just stare at this for a second, and let me go grab something real quick. Okay, I'm back. We're gonna do some live electrical engineering. Get a little jumper cable, plug it into the right hole. Give me a second. So the jumper cable broke off, and how do I get it out of the hole? Do I have a magnet? Ooh, I think I have a magnet. Okay, so I got some magnets. I'm going to magnetically take it out of the hole. I take it back. That's not working. Let me go grab a knife. Let's go look at this pretty merch. Okay, I'm back again. We have a knife. Hang in there. Okay, the pin is successfully removed. And the new one's going in. Okay. We're plugged in. It should work again. Let me just reset it real quick. Okay, 400 RPM is what's safe. Okay, I should not have kicked my Arduino. That was a very poor choice. Okay, we're working again. That was a close call, but we saved it. All right, so 400, that's the most this one can take. Let's turn the rest of them up to 500. I think 2 can do 600. And I think that's the most we're going to push it for now. All right. Live stream might take longer than I thought, but we're going to get to 1 million. 1 turn per subscriber. Okay, back to some Q&A. How long did it take you to get to every sub milestone? And do you have any tips for new YouTubers like me? That's a good question. To get to, you list the first one as 1,000. Really, the first milestone for me was 1 subscriber, which took me, I don't actually remember how long it took me. Definitely on the order of days, if not weeks. Then 10 subscribers took me, I think, a couple months, maybe. 100 subscribers took me a year. 1,000 was actually pretty quick after that. I think it was less than a year after getting to 100, so probably like 2 years total. I don't know exactly. 10,000 was pretty quick after 1,000. That was kind of when it started going exponential, so probably 10,000 within like 2 to 3 years. And then 100,000 was 2018, so that would have been a little over 4 years to get to 100,000. And then after 100,000, it's kind of just been just steady, flat growth. Like, same amount of subscribers every single year. And so hit 200,000, then 300,000, and it's kind of just been the same on and on and on up to 500,000. And then after 500,000 was when I decided to start making YouTube shorts. And then it went absolutely exponential. And that's how we made it to 1 million. Actually, I remember around 500,000, like wondering, like, could I keep doing this long enough to ever make it to 1 million? Because at that rate, it would have taken till 2030 to get to 1 million at the rate I was going before YouTube shorts of like consistent content. It's like, I don't know if I can keep making long form videos for that long, but then shorts completely broke any semblance of meaning that subscribers had. But you know what? I'll take it. And then also monetized. Monetization wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was a thing, but there wasn't like a cutoff to become monetized. It was kind of just a thing you signed up for, and if your account got approved, you got approved. There wasn't like a cutoff for some minimum watch time, minimum subscribers. So pretty much, I think right away, as soon as I made my channel, it was monetized. Actually, the bigger thing back in the day, back in early YouTube days, was becoming a YouTube partner, which is still kind of a thing. I'm actually not sure if it's a thing, but basically it meant like you'd get like all sorts of cool customization. Like you could make your channel look like however you want it. You could like put background images on your channel and do all sorts of customization, and it was the coolest thing. But then by the time I actually got big enough to become a quote unquote partner or whatever, they had totally changed the system, and now the channels are super boring and you can't customize them anymore. If you ever want something fun to do though, go look at some older YouTube channels circa like 2010, 2012-ish on the Wayback Machine. Go look, see what they look like. They're so cool. You could customize them and make them look how you wanted. But never got to that before they made it really boring. Also, have any tips for new YouTubers like me? If you want to, I mean, this is true for YouTube in general, not just cubing. But if you want to be a successful YouTuber, you really just gotta not do what everyone else is doing, like do something new. I kind of brute forced it by starting out doing what everyone else was doing, and kind of just slowly branched out, slowly increased quality just by practicing making videos, and then eventually got to the point where I would come up with a new idea that's a little bit different than what everyone else is doing. It would get popular, and I'd kind of go in that direction a little bit and make something else that was a little bit different, a little more popular, and eventually you kind of, if you brute force it long enough, kind of come up with your own style. But if you want to be popular out of the gate, you really just got to be unique, do something that basically have a reason that your viewers want to come back to you as a specific cubing channel versus any of the hundreds of other ones. So that could just be really extremely high quality. Maybe you're great with audio and camera gear and cinematic lighting and great shots and everything. Maybe that's what makes it special, or maybe it's just the cool ideas and the fun challenges is kind of what I've gone for over the years. Like, who else is turning a Rubik's Cube a million times? Not anyone else I've ever seen. What is, I think this is the same person who asked what's my favorite PLL case. What is your least favorite PLL case? Probably N-perms. I'm not really sure which one, but both N-perms can kind of just die in a hole. I don't even know what algorithm I use. Like, I kind of forgot the one. I don't even know how it goes. The other one is like that or something. Yeah, N-perms can just go away. Even like V-perms. I learned a new V-perm algorithm lately. Like, that's actually kind of fun. But N-perms just are painful. There's no fun in that. What are your other hobbies you have that are not cubing? I already kind of answered this. Running. It's kind of one of the hobbies that I spend the most time on every day, just to be in good shape, I guess. Yeah, just running long trail races. I won a couple of cool trail races this year already. Hiking, once the summer comes around, climbing mountains, climbing the 14ers. You saw I solved Rubik's Cube on top of every 14,000 foot mountain in Colorado. Working on climbing all the 13ers, which is hundreds and hundreds of them. Lots of fun. Like I said, skiing, things like that. Outside of like physical, athletic, outdoor things, I don't know. Lots of little things like computers, electronics, things like that. Hence the Rubik's Cube spinning really fast. Question. Do you eat macaroni and cheese with a fork or a spoon? Obviously a spoon. I mean, what are you going to do? Stab the little tiny noodles? You got to pick them up with a spoon, duh. Our cube stopped again, one sec. That one was at 400. I swear this one should be able to do 400 at least. To be honest, I had no idea how these cubes were going to hold up. I haven't tested them for more than like 10 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. So I had no idea if they were just going to stop like crazy. Clearly, I mean, we're at 500,000 now, so clearly we're going to make it eventually, knock on wood. But yeah, it could have been way worse than this. It could have been way better than this. I was kind of hoping for a lot better. I was hoping never to have to stop and fix them, but yeah, we got the in-between scenario. Hold on one sec. How much time do you think you're going to cube? Like I mentioned before, I mean, I don't really actively speed cube or anything very much anymore. I mean, occasionally just for fun. Mostly do it just as making YouTube videos, coming up with cool ideas and doing unique things. But I mean, I love like tubing in unique places for the cool video ideas. This one can't even do 400 anymore. It's like the cubing while skiing, cubing on top of mountains and stuff. I have a lot of even ongoing projects that you guys haven't even started to hear about yet. That I'll probably keep doing for a long time. But yeah, in terms of like actively speed cubing, already don't really do that. But in terms of just cubing for fun on the side, yeah, probably for a long time. Favorite video games, if you play video games. Oh, hold on, I need to make them go a little faster. So this one's at 300 now. It's being problematic. This one can do 500 consistently. Number 2 can do 600 consistently. And this one can do 500. That's where we're going to keep that at. I don't really play video games very much, very infrequently nowadays. My favorite video games of all time, though, that I used to play back when I had free time, probably Minecraft and Terraria. Put a lot of hours into those. Beat Terraria expert hardcore a couple times, if you know what that means. Back before master mode was a thing. Ooh, this person's question is also very vertical, so it's very small. But if I squint, I can read it. What are some cubes that sit in your collection unsolved? Actually, I think actually, no. There's a different answer to that question that I did not consider. There are a couple of cubes in my collection that sit unsolved because they're in cool patterns. This is the 5x5 that I solved 1 turn per mile. At the end, I had so many extra miles that I just put it in a cool pattern after solving it. So it's a dot pattern. And then the 6x6 that I solved 1 turn per mile, I made a little Canadian flag out of it just to commemorate getting to the Canadian border. So those ones technically sit unsolved, but none of them actually sit unsolved due to being unable to solve them. That's just because for the few cubes where that is the case, I go ahead and just take them apart and put them back together solved because I can't stand having them unsolved on myself. That one stopped now. That one could always do 600. Oh, come on. We're going to 500 now. It's like as time goes on, they're able to turn less and less fast. 500. What's the most time-intensive video you've made? Ooh. Time-intensive. In terms of, like, effort to go around and film things, I mean, solving a Rubik's Cube on top of the highest 100 mountains in Colorado took over a year and many, many thousands of dollars, thousands of hours worth of planning and driving and hiking and effort. But that was obviously not specifically for the video. That was just a fun thing that I did that I happened to make a cool video out of. I think the most time I've spent specifically on the like video making process, like specific to the cubing part, was probably my nationals video from 2024, 2023. That's the year. Too many nationals. My nationals video from 2023, I just put in so much effort into filming it, like literally every hour of every day of the 4 days of the competition, just doing nothing but running around filming things. And then probably close to 100 hours. I think it was like 60 hours worth of editing or something like that. So like over 100 hours total just of like intense doing stuff. And that was all within the span of like 10 days. So definitely the most like quantity percentage of my waking hours over a period of time that I've ever spent on a video. Definitely one of my favorites that I've made too. What's your favorite shape mod that you've made? I mean, the barrel cubes are kind of a classic. I haven't really made a whole lot of other shape mods other than those, so probably would have to say the 7x7 barrel. Um, Hardest cube you can solve. Ooh, I mean, there's some pretty hard ones that I've made videos about kind of recently. Like latch cube comes to mind. Although that one's it's hard in like a way that is very weird. And like the what's it called? The gear mix up. That one was really ridiculously hard. I did not expect that one to be as hard as it was. I can't currently solve it, but at one point I was able to solve it. In terms of just like large, difficult puzzles, something like the 10 by 10 Morphics, excuse me, stands out as something that was very difficult to solve. Yeah. What is the strangest cube in your collection? Ooh. I think there's a strange one that I'm looking at right now. It's definitely among the stranger ones. 2 by 2 by 3 donut. I'm sure there's probably some other one that I'm not thinking of, but very strange. What are some cubes you really want but can't get for whatever reason? I mean, I would say out of all the cubes that I would want, something big like a what's the biggest mass produced they have nowadays? Like I don't even remember. I haven't kept up with it lately. It's the 23 by 23, of course. Is there something bigger than that? I know there's a lot of like planned announced ones that are bigger than that. I don't know if they've ever came out though. That would be really cool though. Um, Next question. Do you still have merchandise with the Z3 Cubing logo? I never had merch with the Z3 Cubing or the not Z3 Cubing, the Lego Boy Z3 logo. I never did. I had one single shirt that I made myself. That was the only Lego Boy Z3 thing that I ever had, and I think I even got rid of that too. So, my first merch that I made was at 200,000 subscribers, which was just from some website that was not very good quality. But nowadays, got these high quality t-shirts from z3cubing.com, or these high quality keychains and coasters and customized cubes from z3cubing.com that you can buy right now. z3cubing.com. How's your day, Bean? Well, I'm not a bean. I don't know why you're calling me a bean. But my day, my day's been, to be honest, today a little more stressful than usual getting this all set up. Woke up this morning, literally had to figure out how to get this cube spinning, which I thought I did. I thought I fixed it, but clearly it is still very much broken. Had to take pictures of all these comments so I could get them all set up and yeah, set up this whole stream, put this camera up here so I can do this beautiful view of this table and you can see all these pretty items and yeah, it's a bit of a rush. Basically been spent all day in front of this camera, but afterwards I will take a break and it will be a lovely day, I'm sure. $1 million. Why haven't you uploaded for so long? Well, I mean, I think I've still never gone more than 2 weeks without uploading, at least in the last 10 years. I froze. Are we back? We're back. So yeah, I don't think I've been done more than 2 weeks without uploading a long form video or a short. It was 1 week, of course, for years, but then if you saw my video that I uploaded at the start of the year, obviously that wasn't really a sustainable pace, so keeping it up. I'm trying to keep it at 2 weeks, but it might end up being more than that, but I don't think 2 weeks is a crazy long time. Oh, this is another very small one, so we're gonna have to squint a little bit. This is one that I've already kind of answered on accident from another person, but I've been trying to start my own cubing channel for the last 3 years. What would you suggest for gaining traction with views and subscribers? Just to reiterate what I said before, do something different. You have to have something that sets you apart from all the other bazillions of cubing channels, whether that be having really high quality cinematic, like technical quality videos, or really like helpful videos. Like if you're a really good speed cuber, you can make great tutorials like JPerm did that. Came in completely just disrupted the whole cubing tutorial scene. That's, I think, why he grew to such amazing popularity. He's also just great at making entertaining content too. Yeah, or you can just kind of make your own like crazy ideas for videos like I do, like, you know, climbing a bunch of mountains or whatever crazy stuff that I do. I don't know. I don't know why you're all subscribed to me. Why is this off center? There we go. That's much better. Do you think we've come close to getting every scramble possible on a 3x3? Including practice competitions every turn while scrambling or solving? No, not even close. I think I'm not going to do the math live, but if you do the math, it's something like if every single person on Earth were turning a Rubik's Cube like every single second for the entire time that the Rubik's Cube has existed, for every waking moment of their lives, it still wouldn't even be close to 43 quintillion different turns. And even if you did have 43 quintillion different turns, the way that we're doing a million turns here, obviously we're not getting to a million different positions. We're just doing the same position over and over again. So yeah, most of the time you're probably repeating a lot of positions, and like when you're really close to it being solved, like doing F2L or like doing OLL and PLL, every single time you do an OLL or PLL, it's a position that the cube has already been in. So those turns don't really help towards the total. And yeah, again, even if you had every person on Earth doing turns for decades, like multiple times a second, you still wouldn't even get close to a 43 quintillion. Oh, same person. What are the greatest cubers that you've seen in competition? I think undisputably, like the greatest cuber of all time is just Felix Zemdegs. So my very first competition, he was at it. So saw him solve and get like second place in nationals. Yeah, 100 some world records. Max Park probably a close second in terms of number of world records. I don't think he's ever gonna pass Felix in terms of number of world records, just because of how much more competitive it is nowadays. But yeah, there's definitely an argument that he's, I mean, a very good argument that he's one of the greatest as well. And I've yeah seen both of them at a lot of competitions. Max has come to a couple of Colorado competitions actually. Um, I don't think this is a question. I don't know why I took a picture of this. I guess I thought there was a question. Thanks for the comment though. Uh, has cubing become boring over time? I've also already talked about this a little bit too. Yeah, I mean, as with all hobbies, you kind of comes and goes. Um, I've been trying recently to just um, not really force it, like not really try and practice and speed solve a bunch when I don't want to, uh, when it's not interesting to me. Whereas like when I do have motivation, when I do have a cubing competition coming up or something like that, I will practice and it is fun. And so it's kind of a thing that, you know, comes and goes. Um, it's a little more difficult with the YouTube channel having to do it, but that's why I make such a wide variety of different types of very different cubing videos from what normal people are doing, because like unboxings and stuff have definitely gotten boring to me. But you know, making a using 5 different sizes of Rubik's cubes together, that's still really fun. How long do you plan to keep making cubing videos? If you saw again my video at the start of the year, it's not going to be consistently anymore at all, but I'll try and keep doing it at least every once in a while, every couple weeks, hopefully, for the foreseeable future. Who knows? Could be another year, could be another 10 years, could be more than that. And even if I do like stop doing it consistently, I still have tons of ideas that are sort of in progress or like someday I'll get to. Like I have a video that I started filming in 2021, I think, that is still only like halfway finished. And it will come out someday, but today is not that day. So hopefully we'll still have some crazy projects every once in a while, even if I stop uploading as consistently as I am now. Yeah, we just hit 2/3 of a million. Why did you name your channel Lego Boise 3? We're getting all the classic questions. I guess, I mean, there's so many people who have literally double the people who have started watching or subscribed to my channel since the last time that I did a Q&A like this. So I guess might as well restate some of this stuff. It was just kind of an old username. I think, I don't know if I've ever said this, but I think the very first website that I ever signed up for, like that required a username, was Club Penguin. Back to the good old 2009 or whatever. And my username was Lego Boy 3. Like just the word Lego, the word boy, number 3. And then later on, there was another website you signed up for. You couldn't have spaces though, so it just became Lego Boy 3, but that was taken, so I added a Z. I was copying my sister's username that also had a Z3 in it for whatever reason. She was the original Z3. I'm just a copier. So I was Lego Boy Z3, and that just stuck for years until eventually made this channel. Changed it years later to Z3 Cubing. I think we're almost done with the questions. Is YouTube sustainable for the normal person? This goes back to what I was just saying with getting boring over time. It depends on what you're doing. I mean, there's like the being able to consistently do like the actual like filming, editing kind of part of it, which I personally think I enjoy probably a lot more than the average person. And then there's actually the thing that you're making videos about, cubing in this case. And you kind of, it's this crazy thing where you have to have the intersection of being interested in all of it and motivated to keep doing it. But yeah, it probably takes a less than normal person to consistently, at least over the course of years and years, be able to keep it up. What's your absolute favorite product of the new shop? So, referring to z3cubing.com, as if I haven't done enough merch plugs already. The logo is pretty cool, just because the fact that all the colors worked out perfectly. But I think my favorite is just the straight up classic keychain, the solid cube keychain. Like I said, I have it literally on my keychain that I don't have with me right now, but carry it around every day when I'm away from home, and I'm definitely going to keep it on there just as a fun little keychain. I've never really liked like the, like, you know, you can buy like a Rubik's Cube keychain, like a little mini 3x3, like the GAN 330 or whatever. I've never really liked those because they're like a big cubic thing and they just stick out of your pocket and they're just not comfortable to carry around in your pocket. But this thing, it's like, it's the same form factor as a key. So you don't notice it in your pocket, and it's a cool way to have cubing or like a specific pattern if you want with you in your pocket all the time without it being immensely annoying and uncomfortable. z3cubing.com. Upload your own pattern or enter the giveaway, link down below in the description. Enter your own pattern at alg.cubing.net and you have the chance to be one of 5 people to get it sent to you, whatever pattern you want, printed and sent to you for free if you're in the US, or you can get store credit if you're international. Will you be going to Worlds 2025 in Seattle? Yes, that is 4th of July weekend. It's coming up pretty soon, like 5 weeks from now. 5 or 6 weeks, something like that. Yeah, I will be there for all 4 days. Hope to see y'all there. Might make a video. I'm going to make some sort of video. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll see. Biggest cubing and non-cubing milestones. Well, in terms of like biggest number milestone, I think 1 million subscribers has got to be up there pretty high in terms of a big cubing milestone. Honestly, in terms of like how much I worked for it, I think 500,000. I probably worked a lot more for the first 500,000 than the last 500,000. So it's probably, I mean, even 100,000 was probably, in a sense, a bigger milestone because it took way more time to get to that point from when I started compared to where I am now. But 1 million, I think, objectively is probably the biggest. Non-cubing, I mean, I don't know. Graduating from college, climbing lots of mountains, all the 14ers in the lower 48 states, running 100 miles. I don't know. There's lots of things that I could say there. Do you still like Lego? I mean, I don't dislike it. I wouldn't like go out to the store and buy a Lego set and put it together. Although, now that I say that out loud, it does sound kind of fun. um, uh, don't like it enough to go and choose to spend my free time doing that, but yeah, I would if I somehow had the chance to. I like combining it with cubing, obviously, and making crazy things like this guy, the 9x9. And I have actually a bunch of other Lego cubes just like this in process. Um, may or may not have to do with the 3D printer that I have just acquired. So that video will be coming pretty soon. I have a whole lot of interesting ideas for that. Okay. Oh, okay. That's all of the questions that were submitted in advance for the Q&A. So I think we're going to turn it over for now to do the like live chat Q&A. So we still have a little over 250,000 turns to go. Every single one of you who's subscribed, you're gonna get your turn some point in this video. Might take a little longer than I thought, but we're gonna get there eventually. I think at the pace that I had calculated, it was gonna take like hour and a half, hour 40 minutes. But we're already at that point, and we're not quite there. So gonna have at least another 30-40 minutes of Q&A, and then towards the end of the live stream, I will turn off that link and announce the giveaway winners. We'll also go ahead and check out what patterns they submitted just for fun. So yeah, go ahead and leave your questions in the live chat right now, and I will check it out. Have you ever gotten hurt while solving a Rubik's Cube? You probably, some of you probably know this. I wasn't solving the Rubik's Cube technically at the time, but I did break my pinky finger while I had a 6x6 Rubik's Cube like in my pocket at the time, and I was solving it 1 turn per mile. So I had certainly done a turn on it less than a mile earlier, and I continued to do turns on it a mile afterwards. So yeah, I wouldn't say the cubing in any way contributed to my breaking of my hand, but it certainly was there while it happened. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Not. You should get a golden play button. I thought I had a question about this. Maybe that was the question that I accidentally took a picture of. I meant to. There's a question about the golden play button. Yeah, I already have a spot on my wall next to the silver one. It's like I can touch the silver one right here. I just touched it. Yeah, there's a spot on the wall for it. I got an email a few months ago saying that they were like updating my information or something to get it. So probably within the next month or so, I'll get one of those. It might appear in a video someday. We'll see. Have you met Soup Timmy? Yeah, he's been in a couple of my videos, at least one of my videos, in a like talking to him sort of way. I've been in one of his videos too. When will the next non-cuber video be? The next time I see Adam, the non-cuber, he's I mean, he's been living not in Colorado for the last many as pretty much as long as the channel has existed. So every time I see him, try and film a video. But yeah, next time I see him, maybe we'll make another one. I actually do have a pretty good idea for one, so hopefully sometime soonish. How's life, Z3? It's pretty good. It's busy right now, but good. Does the Super Square 1-star still haunt you? I don't know if I have. Wait. No, that's not it. I don't have it right now, but I would say it still haunts me a little bit. Why didn't you finish the Scube Mix-Up 3? When I made a video about all the Scube mix-ups, yeah, I don't think I finished the 3rd one. I think after I finished the video, I might have actually finished solving it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it fast enough. Finish filming the video. I don't know. Maybe I never finished it and just took it apart. Who knows? Um, why don't you just make a Q&A video? To be perfectly honest, what I'm doing right now, spending 2 hours answering tons and tons of questions, is a lot less effort than making a Q&A video. I probably spent 5, 6, 7 hours filming my last few Q&A videos, and it just kind of became too much for how popular those things were, which was not very. um, yeah, I don't know. It had its time, but it's okay to be over now. What is your main 3x3? I'm still using the Tornado. Is this the V4? I don't even remember. I haven't tried any new 3x3s out for ages. I think this is the V4 non-maglev. I think UV, something like that. I'm not up with the latest cubes. How many hours per week did you spend doing your school homework? It's a very random question. I don't know why I even read that out loud. I mean, in college, it's you kind of spend more time doing homework than you do actually in the classes. But probably 1 to 1 or so. For like how many hours per week? I don't know anything about school anymore. I wiped that all from my brain after I graduated. After Megaminx, what will be the next 1 turn per mile cube? You can't look ahead that far. I already teased what the next one's gonna be. Yeah, the next one's gonna be a Megaminx, but yeah, it'll be a little while before that one's released because I need to walk a lot of miles. I'll probably do a short version of some cube. I actually haven't fully decided what it's gonna be, but I'm working through all the WCA events. I'm gonna get them all someday. Is VCube still the best? VCube is, of course, still the best. What's the best cubing brand, in your opinion? I don't know. I don't really like to have a favorite brand of something. Kind of just find products that I like from each one of them. I think Chi and all of its sub-brands, X-Man and everything, have probably been one of the most innovative lately. And by lately, I mean like the last 5, 10 years. But I mean, there's a lot of good ones. We'll use up there too. Again, leave your questions in the live chat. I'm just reading out questions. It's taken a little bit longer than I thought, so we're just hanging out for the time being. Enter the giveaway down, link in the comments, or link in the description down below. That giveaway will close. You know what? Let's say it closes at noon. So at the top of the hour, it's about 17 minutes from right now. I'm going to close off responses for that giveaway, and then we will, I guess, go ahead and pick the winners after that. So, yeah, might as well do that while we're still getting up to 1,000,000 turns. These cubes are turning a lot slower than they were meant to. So, yeah, now's your last chance. You have about 17, 16 minutes to enter the live giveaway, and then it's going to be over. And all of you who have entered, I'm going to choose one of them live and make some cool cubes for you. Some cool custom 3D printed with your own favorite pattern on them cubes for you. Okay, any good questions in the chat? How fast are you at 9x9? I can't say I've ever solved one faster than about 15 minutes. Maybe a little faster. I don't remember. I don't have a good 9x9. The only one I've ever had was the cheapo Mofeng Jiaoshi one from back in the day. So probably be a little bit faster if I had a nice Dian Cheng or something. Have you tried the Moyu Ferrocore? To be honest, I have no idea what the Ferrocore is. I've not been keeping up with cubing hardware. But yeah, maybe sometime this year I'll have to do a big catch-up video and try out all the crazy new cubes that have come out since I was paying attention to cubing hardware. Ferrocore. What could a Ferrocore possibly be? Is it just like I mean, like ferro is like iron. Is it just like iron in the core that the magnets attract to somehow, which does something cool? I don't know. Like, couldn't tell you. Which piece of merch would you recommend buying? I mean, if you want something that's like Z3 cubing related, if you want a shirt, obviously the shirt's pretty cool. Also great quality compared to the old ones, much more comfortable. Or I think if you just want something to show off, like on your desk, the coaster size Z3 cubing is pretty cool. For a keychain, of course, that too. My favorite though, if you don't want something like super branded, like super advertisey, is just the basic cube keychain. It's only $6. It's really just a cool cubing related product that doesn't like have like a brand name on it. That's like weird to have. I don't know. Some people are weird about having like brand and stuff. Like I wouldn't really wear this in public unless I were at a cubing competition. But yeah, I like just the basic non-branded logoless cube. I can't talk anymore. I've been talking for too long. Some questions in there that I'm not going to answer. Uh, how did your parents think of the name Alex Thriocker? I mean, it's just sort of obvious. I mean, Alex Thriocker. Like it just makes the perfect acronym for D3 cubing. Initialism, whatever it's called. Is it still an initialism if it has a number in it? I don't know. Have you been in the EU? I have been to Ireland, which is in the EU. So yes, the only time I've ever been to Europe or out of North America, I guess. But hopefully we'll be to go to some other countries over there someday. 800,000, woohoo! Any other interesting questions in the live chat, perhaps? A lot of these I've already answered too, which is why I might not be answering the one that you are putting in there. Can you still do a 3x3 with your feet? Oh my gosh, I would love to do more 3x3 with my feet. I'm not going to because YouTube is apparently kind of weird about that. That was a fun event. I wrote I don't know if I ever said this on a video, but I wrote an essay in high school about why Rubik's Cube shouldn't be Rubik's Cube with feet shouldn't be removed as a WCA event. It was a pretty fantastic essay. No, it was mediocre. What is your favorite timer in terms of like a physical put it on the table timer? I just use the StackMat Gen 5. In terms of like what's it called? Like virtual app timer. If I'm gonna use a Rubik's Cube timer, I'll just use the whatever the default Android one is called. Twisty timer or something like that. I don't actually remember what it's called, but it's just kind of the first one that comes up on Android. We should do a solve or two. The favorite timer question just made me think that I didn't even bother getting out the timer for this video, so we should do that real quick. Oh, this doesn't have the count on it if I do that. Here, let's do this instead. Ah, there we go. Alrighty. I don't know if anyone asked this question, but it has been an embarrassingly long time since I have solved the 3x3. Like it might have been while filming my last video. I don't remember the last time I speed solved one. So, how fast do you think? Like, put your predictions in the chat right now. How fast do you think after not doing any serious speed solving, that's for sure, for months, probably not solving Rubik's Cube for at least a week, how fast do you think my time will be? Whoever gets the closest will win. I think there's something to be said for first time luck. Like, I feel like my very first solve might be a little bit faster than the average, but maybe not. A lot of people saying, first one person said 14.7. A lot of people in the 17, 15, 18 second range. It's probably realistic. Okay. Someone said 11.6. I think you're a little optimistic there. Let's do some inspection here. I think that was a perfectly good hand scramble. 3, 2, 1, and I just did a Y2. Oh, that started out well, but it's falling apart. We got the annoying OLL and U-perm. Oh, that actually wasn't bad at all. 14.78. That felt way slower than it actually was. Wait, what did the very first person say? The first person to reply said 14.73. Pretty darn close. Did anyone get it exactly? 14. I don't think anyone got it exactly. Not bad. Oh, someone said 14.79. Nice. Okay. Well, we're on a pretty good streak. Sub 15. I think we should do another one. I was honestly exceeded my expectations. Okay. Oh, I'm going to go over 15 seconds because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I did that all wrong. No. Yeah, I feel like the thing is your top speed doesn't change very much when you're not practicing, but your like bottom speed drops or gets a lot slower. Like you just make a lot more mistakes is kind of the biggest difference when you're not in practice. So like that OLL, I don't remember the last time I did that OLL, so I totally messed it up and did the wrong one. I got an 18. Okay, we got to do one more. Third time's the charm. Got to redeem ourselves. Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna do this remotely efficiently, but let's go for it. 3, 2, 1. It's not very good. Oh, got an easy OL at least. And an A-perm that I totally messed up. Yeah, 15.18. Not terrible. Yeah, see what I was saying? First time luck. You always get lucky on the first one for some reason. Okay, so it is 7 minutes until noon. So you have 7 more minutes to enter the live giveaway. So you have to go to the link to the Google form. I just froze again. Hello, I'm back. Okay. You have to go to the link to the Google form in the description down below. And you have to enter your favorite scramble for a chance to win. Custom keychain and coaster, 3D printed, sent to your house in the US or store credit if you're outside of the US. There will be 5 people who win that. Coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes here. I will shut off the responses at noon, so right on the top of the hour. And yeah, we will pick the winners and see what their scrambles are. So YouTube is telling me the stream's current bit rate is 0, which is lower than the recommended. So I might have just froze there for a second, but now we're back to good. I would hope that the recommended bit rate is above 0. That would seem to be ideal. Okay. Any other questions that you have, leave them in the live chat, and I'll spend the rest of the stream answering those because things are taking a little bit longer than I thought. These cubes sure haven't stopped spinning for a little while. Maybe at the very end we'll ramp it up and see how fast they can go. I think I got it to 1,000 RPM one time, and they were still all going. But I guess if you leave them going long enough, they don't want to go much higher than that. I wonder, like, these things hot? They're getting warm, but they're not like hot, hot. That's probably good. Yeah, I had no idea what this was gonna do, leaving them running for 2 hours. But that's the fun of it. It's not a challenge if you know that you can complete it in advance. Um, you'd only keep one cube. What cube would it be? If you're saying like out of all the cubes I have right now, I can only keep one, but then I can buy more ones after that. It would probably have to be some sort of um, probably have to be some sort of cool mod that took ages, right? I don't know. I was gonna say 7x7 barrel, but I could remake one of those without. I could 3D print one of those without too much effort. I don't know. What's like something that's like nostalgic? I could just do my first 3x3 just for the nostalgia factor, but oh, it's a hard question. Yeah, but then if I could never buy another cube again, that's a completely different question because then I would just choose like a decent 3x3 speed cube so I could actually like use it. Tornado before. I don't know. Whatever happened to my udon? I think it's on the shelf over there. That's the other favorite one that I have at the moment, but I haven't solved on it for quite a while. You need to start doing that. World is coming up. I need to practice a little bit and become not terribly inconsistent. Another question. What the heck is happening? That's a good question. We're turning a Rubik's Cube a million times. So, one turn for every single subscriber. If you've been watching the whole time, you'll definitely have seen your turn. It belongs to you. Assuming you're subscribed. Have you been to Texas before? I have been to Texas approximately 2 times. I climbed the highest point in Texas before. I've been to 30 something states, but I hope to go to all of them fairly soon. Oh, yeah, it's literally someone just asked, have you been to all 50 US states? No, I've been to 30, let's see, 29, 30, 30, 31, 32. Off the top of my head, I can think of 32. Probably a few more than that, though. Opinion on arson. Um, Not ideal. Any other questions in the comments? Any other cubing related questions in the comments that aren't about arson? Any other questions in the comments about cubing that I haven't answered yet? Okay, what the heck? It's almost noon, so I'm gonna shut off these responses exactly at the top of the hour for the giveaway. You have less than 1 minute left, and then it's going to be gone. How long do we have left? We have 20 more seconds, so get those giveaway responses in real quick. Oh no, the cube stopped again! No! It's so quiet. What were we at? 300 on the bad one? I think 300 was all this one could handle. And It's noon. Okay. So no more responses to the giveaway. Let me actually remove that from the description here real quick. I don't know how to edit the description. How do I edit the description? Oh, I found it. Okay. Here we go. No more responses. And now we will pick the 5 winners. Let me speed up these cubes a little bit real quick. I do not remember how fast they were going. I think 500. Except that one. That one can only go to 3. Okay. I should have made a better interface for setting the speeds of these things. I didn't. It wasn't. It was supposed to work so that if one of them broke and stopped, I could just specifically stop that one and set that one. But my code is too buggy. Wrote it in a rush. Okay. So almost at 900,000, by the way, creeping up to there, and then I need to figure out a way to randomly pick the winner. I haven't really thought about that. I have an idea though. What I'm gonna do. Wait, can I see if I can black out everyone's name? I did not black out their name. Ah, there we go. We have a bunch of people who have entered, a bunch of algorithms. Okay, we're going to do something risky. We're going to show you my desktop. Okay, anything incriminating on there? I don't think so. You won't be able to see the live counter, but it's still going. In fact, wait, hold on one sec. Let me just copy these. Ah, there we go. Now you can still see the turns, and you can still see me in the corner. Hi. Okay, so these are all of the people who have entered. I have blacked out their names over here so you can't see any emails or anything. What I'm going to do, here, let me make myself a little bit smaller. I'm going to every person is going to get a random number between 0 and 1. Suggested autofill. Perfect. So now everyone has a random number. And what I'm just going to do is sort by that random number. And the top 5, I guess, highest random numbers will be the winners. That should be a very safe way to randomly choose 5 people. So I'm not sure if I want A to Z or Z to A. A to Z. Oh no, the cube stopped again. I guess it can't even handle 300 RPM anymore. How about 250? There, wait. Why is that not sorting them? Oh, it re-randomizes it after you sort it. Okay. That's annoying. Is there okay, here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the values, paste them so it doesn't have the formula anymore. Yeah. Okay, so these are the final random numbers. Now I'm going to sort them. Whoever is the highest 5 random numbers win. Those are the lowest. Okay, these are the top 5 numbers right here. So I'm not going to. I'll look at their names while I don't have my screen showing live, just to make sure there's nothing crazy in there. But what I will do is I will go ahead and check out one of these people did not actually put an alg.cubing link. Let me check out what that link is real quick. Okay, that person is disqualified. They did not put a real link in there. It's like someone's math homework or something. Okay, congratulations to the sixth person. You now took the third person's place. Let me go check out their names real quick. We have August B, Melissa M, Nick V, Eliam, I don't know how to say that, R, and Jude C. You are the five winners. Let me make sure, or let me look at least. Okay, 4 out of the 5 of you are located in the US. So the 4 of you who are in the US, get your packages shipped. The one of you who isn't, I can get you some store credit so you can still buy it if you want to from the store. Shipping is just hard to handle. Let me speed these cubes up real quick. Let me just make sure these are adequately censored. Okay, let's check out their scrambles. Let me just make sure they're all look good ahead of time. All right. Got some fun scrambles in here. Okay, let's go back to here. So first up, August B. This is August B's scramble. It looks like a scramble. I don't know. Maybe that's their PR scramble or something like that. Certainly a scramble. Okay, next up, Melissa M. Oh, very pretty scramble. It's like a, what is that? I don't even know if I know what that pattern is. It's a very cool pattern. At least I like that one. Definitely gonna look cool on a keychain. And by the way, if anyone's wondering, the way that these keychains work is that by default you have white, red, and green in the front because that's what is default on alg.cubing.net. But if you want to change that, you can do that by just adding some cube rotations in. So for example, you could add like a Y move if you wanted white, red, and blue to be in front. But obviously, given this scramble, it makes a lot more sense to have white, red, and green because it's a lot prettier that way. Third winner, Nick V. I changed your name to get rid of your last name on there. It's a J perm. That's certainly an algorithm. Great job. Yeah, I think that would actually look kind of cool. Elaim R. Sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. It's another scramble. Yep. Maybe that's your PR. Maybe it's just a scramble. I don't know. I honestly like. I actually do have. I do have one of these cubes. This is actually. If anyone can name what this scramble is in the live chat, kudos to you. But this is just a scrambled cube, and honestly, like, I think it looks pretty cool on its own. Like, looks just as cool as a solved one. So, if you have a scramble that means something in particular to you, I think that's a cool way to do it. And then finally, the fifth winner was Jude C. And we have a checkerboard dot pattern. Beautiful. I love how the algorithm is M2S2E2. Me, 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 me. That's a beautiful algorithm. I guess that is a way to do a dot pattern, isn't it? Huh. Never really thought of that before. Definitely the most fun way to write down a dot pattern. Okay, so you five people, or at least the four of you in the US, I will email you from z3cubing at gmail.com. So make sure that email is correct, z3cubing at gmail.com. I'll email you, ask for your address, and if you want to change your scramble, I guess just let me know in your response, and you can still do that if you want. But yeah, I will take whatever scramble you say, print it out on a keychain and a coaster, and send it off to your mailing address. And for the one of you who is outside the US, I will give you the equivalent store credit to be able to pay for these things. And if you want to order it, you can order it. If not, no worries. And if you didn't win, feel free to go ahead and take your scramble anyway to z3cubing.com. It's $10 for the custom keychain, and I think 16 for the custom coaster. And you can put in whatever scramble you want, get it shipped to your house, free shipping in the US. Or if you don't want a custom one, it's even cheaper if you just get the solved cube. So $6 and $12. z3cubing.com. So we're getting pretty close to 1 million subscribers. Yeah, again, I'll email all five of you after the live stream. So just make sure and respond in the next couple days. Otherwise, I'll have to choose a new winner. And I guess we're waiting for the last 40,000. We're getting so close. If you have any more questions, now is your last chance to get them answered live. Might be your last chance to get them answered for a while. And when the next time I'll do a live stream like this is. We should look at other scrambles for the next 40,000. Yeah, I could. Let me go through on my own and see if I can find any cool ones, and I'll compile them and show you. Good idea. One person just left alg.cubing.net with no scramble. That's not how it works. That's just a scramble. Oh no! We lost the reliable one. That one never fails. Come on. I wonder like, how much plastic dust is going to be in there by the end. We're still barely crawling along. I think for the last little while, these three have been at 500 RPM. This one's been at 300. But I mean, 300 RPM is not nothing. That's still 5 revolutions per second, which is 20 Rubik's Cube turns per second on that one cube. So it's still contributing. Let me go keep looking at some scrambles. I want to make sure there's nothing terrible written before I show it on screen. We have a couple of checkerboards. What is going on here? Checkerboard, another blank one, another generic scramble. We got a T-perm. I'll show you a moment real quick. Ooh, cube and a cube. Good classic. More scramble. Oh yeah. Another scramble. I'll show you them in a minute. Another checkerboard. I don't know what that is. Another checkerboard. Checkerboard is going to be a bestseller. Another checkerboard. Another checkerboard. Another random scramble. I don't know what that is. Another scramble. Another scramble. I mean, yeah, doing just your own scramble is pretty cool. Ooh, super flip. Yeah. Okay, let me show you these all real quick. We just got a classic super flip. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Like it looks like a messed up version of some algorithm. Like you were trying to do a PLL and then just did a wrong move. I don't know what this is. Oh no, we lost it again. Hold on. Maybe this person was just doing it for the memes. We got Yusheng Du's 3.47 world record. Very nicely labeled right there. Appreciate it. What? That one can't even do 300? We're limping along. Yeah, we can do 200. This one can still do 500. I think that one can do 500. This one is struggling. Oh, I typed in the wrong thing. Okay, let's just leave it. Classic cube and a cube and a cube. Oh my gosh, it broke again. Okay, 200 RPM. I'm glad it's breaking at the very end when we're at 988. Like, I could just do the last 10,000 by myself if I really needed to. But it's getting a little bit more desperate than I expected. Okay, cube and a cube and a cube. Beautiful. Classic T-perm. Nice. That one's being weird. I swear this one has no problems. It can do 500. I'm not sure what this scramble is going on. It looks like this person is also just putting some memes in there. Lots of checkerboard. Lots of checkerboard. Okay, that was my selection of a handful of scrambles that I could find. Nothing too inspiring. Honestly, I think one of the winners ones was the coolest one that I've seen so far. So I'm glad that one will be made at least. How do the spinners work? Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I can't believe I didn't address that. It's pretty simple. It's basically the same thing that I did last time with the 500,000 turns, except now there's 4 of them, kind of ramp it up, mass production. So basically it's just a stepper motor. So like same motor you'd find in a 3D printer. It is very good at doing very precise movements, but also can go reasonably fast depending on how you drive it. I got some stepper motor drivers that are specifically designed to be like drive the motor really quietly, I guess. I thought that was going to be important, but turns out the sound of the cube spinning, the plastic against plastic, makes so much noise that it doesn't really matter how loud the stepper is. But who knows? Maybe it's a little bit quieter. I got some good noise reduction and my mouth very close to the microphone. So hopefully you guys have been able to hear me fine throughout the stream. So yeah, stepper motor, driver. I can actually show you. Oh wait, it's almost done. Wait. That snuck up on me. We got 1,139,000, which is, I think, roughly the subscriber count right now. I think we're probably a little bit higher than that. Okay, that's it. I actually wanted to do something before we ended, but I guess we can just do it now. I want to see how fast we can go if we just like turn it up to 10,000. I want to see if any of them can make it. 1,000 RPM. Here we go. What is this? What's this one doing? That one already gave up before it even started. Oh, I see what's wrong. Let's reset it real quick. Oh, we're back to 0 turns. I don't know why that happened. Everything is breaking, but at least we got to 1,000,000. 1,000 RPM. Let's do it. Okay, we're currently at 250. We're all still going. Okay, that one I expected to fail. We've just reached 500. This is how fast they were going most of the time. This one was so reliable before. Come on. Okay, we're about to reach 750. 750. Okay, they're going. Can we make it to 1,000 RPM? Alternate title. Turning a Rubik's Cube 1,000 RPM. Oh, we still got one going. And okay, that's 1,000 RPM. Okay, let's see if we can go faster. This is 1,100 going up to. You can hear the frequency increasing. Oh, we almost made it to 1,100. Okay. I think that's enough experimenting with these cubes for now. Let me just show you what the setup looks like just for fun. I'm also curious to see if these cubes have gotten completely shredded on the insides or anything. Why does that say turn 0? I feel like just for the record, we need to 1, 2, 3. We need to make that say a million. There we go. Yeah, so let's check out these cubes. So, oh yeah, no, that did start to wear down the plastic a little bit. So there was a little, it flew away. There was a little 3D printed piece in that center piece. Oh yeah, you can see the like plastic dust on here. Oh, check that out. Oh man. Oh, that one was getting beat up. Yeah, no wonder that one started slowing down. That is crazy. Dang. Yeah, it's like plastic dust. Oh, they're warm. It's warm too. Oh my gosh. Like the pieces are like you can tell they're warm. That's hilarious. How did this one hold up? The motors are hot. Like you can touch them, but barely. So here's the little 3D printed piece that adapts the center. You can stick that on there to the stepper motor shaft. This one, yeah, that one got a little bit messed up. This one, yeah, that one a little bit too. I put a piece of tape on this one last second just to see if I could get it to stick a little bit better, but that did not help. But yeah, as you can see, they're all certainly fully functional Rubik's Cubes. That one I took apart. Not sure why some of them worked while some of them didn't work, but hey, we got to 1 million, so I don't really care at this point. Let's see. This is a little 3D printed holder. So they're clamped onto the table. We got foam underneath them just to make sure that like if that weren't there, it just shakes the table like crazy and makes a ridiculous noise. We have these 3D printed a 3D printed stand that holds the other stands with rubber feet on them just to dampen the vibrations even more. This has, oh, I just froze. There we go. These have stepper motors inside of them. These are specially 3D printed to hold the stepper motor and the cube into the right spot. These stepper motors are attached to, hold on. I think I can just unplug this. Got a big honking breadboard here. Those are all attached into there. Each one has their own driver. Those haven't gotten very warm. That's good. Those are powered. I didn't trust the breadboard, so I soldered up this big monstrosity to power all of them separately from a big 24-volt power brick that's laying here. And then we have control lines and power running to the Arduino for each of them. And yeah, program that to control the speed and take inputs over serial, which I have another thing in another program that's displaying the overlay right there and sending inputs back and forth based on what I type in. It's pretty janky, but it worked. Barely. We got to 1 million, and I think that's just about it. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this ridiculous stream. I hope you all go check out z3cubing.com for some very cool custom merch, t-shirts, keychains, coasters. Put your own scramble on them. Very cool. I will contact all the giveaway winners right away after this stream. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for 1 million subscribers. Absolutely crazy after 11 years. I think that's pretty much it. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.